it's a blues fantasy, really, Rough and Twisted.
We don't look too closely. Keith and I call it an ancient form of weaving.
And you let it take off from there. You know, you can't plan all of this stuff.
Is Foreign Tongues going to be the next Stones tour? Is there something about the journey of the band in that song?
No, Rough and Twisted is really, it's a fantasy about a woman that promises you a lot of things, and then what happens to you in life, you get involved in these terrible places that she takes you to. She promises you the world, but you get delivered, you know, bad food, bad air, bad clubs, bad politics, bad everything. It's a blues fantasy, really, Rough and Twisted.
Yeah, no, it's not, because I wasn't sure where you were going with it, but it's highly listenable.
It's listenable. It's very amorphous. It's not got a really central thing. It's very much just my unconscious ramblings, Rough and Twisted, to a certain extent. The thing about this record, though, is what I think is interesting about the Stones as a band is that, and why, you know, you say, well, you know, you've got nothing to prove and everything, but the Stones is a rock band. You say, oh, it's a rock band, but the Stones also has the abilities to do ballads and country music and dance music, and so that they run in the gamut of all these styles. So it's not stuck in one particular style.
As time goes on, the music changes. We're 60-something years into it, and the music still has that same level of quality. What is it that keeps you going? I saw you 2 years ago at that age, and you were just moving on that runway like a young man.
Yeah. Well, that's just being fit, you know, and you have to work at that, whatever age you are. And if you're my age, you have to really work at it to be able to get, you know, it's like, you know, so you don't get around. It's good, but you have to really work at it, and it's just discipline and a lot of hard work, and otherwise you can't do that. And of course, I can't do the things I did when I was 21, but yeah, I can do other things. So you have to do that.
Is Foreign Tongues going to be the next Stones tour?
I would love to tour the album. I absolutely would love to. So, you know, I hope to do it as soon as that's possible.
Yeah, it was Camel. It was like Camel. Now, Camel didn't work out.
What keeps you going to create this iconic sound that you guys have created for so long and yet sound so original still?
Sometimes I ask myself that, but then you get in the studio and the guys get together, we lay out a track, an idea, and you let it take off from there. You know, you can't plan all of this stuff. You kind of just got to follow it. And hope you come out the other end, you know.
I turned up one day to do my vocals in London, and there's this bloke standing there, his back to me with this long gown on. And when he turned round, he was covered in lipstick. And I said, I'd never met him before, and you're Robert Smith of The Cure. And he said, yeah, we've never met. And then I said, well, while you're here, then you better go and do something. That's how collaborations work sometimes. Go out and sing the backing vocal.
It seems there was a lot that went into this record, which leads me to the next question. When it comes to support it, can we expect another world tour?
Oh, I mean, we can talk next year. Yeah. I mean, possibly. You know, I mean, at the moment we're just sort of saying, we finished the record, let's do this, and so we're sort of basically considering what to do after, you know, pretty soon, but I don't think, not this year anyway, you know.
My last question, are you ever surprised at how long that you've been able to keep going? I mean, this is amazing.
That's one I can't answer, Val, but, you know, I just do it as long as you can, you know.
That is brilliant, man. Always a pleasure, sir. Good seeing you.
He's acting as if he's in Madison Square Garden kicking off the show. You move. You move. You're not sitting on a stool a la Sinatra. You really move. True?
True. Yeah, if I get carried away with it, I do. Yeah, but you can't really do that. I mean, sometimes you use a hand mic. If you're doing like a real rocker, you use a hand mic and you wander around the studio singing. You don't be sitting in a booth or anything like that.
Associated Press?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's big.
That's big.
We love a bit of AP.
That's it. I love it.
What a team. Such a team. Yeah.
Another album, and I was telling Mick, I listened to the first 2 tracks, and Rough and Twisted, as I've been listening to over and over. I mean, but I mean, and I don't want to bring age into it, but it sounds so fresh and young. How do you find that energy?
It's funny enough, the same guitar I used on Stay With Me, I use on Rough and Twisted. I still have the same guitar.
Really?
And it's still in open E like it always was with the Faces. And to let rip on Rough and Twisted, for instance, was just a fantastic release. And it was so spontaneous. We even surprised ourselves with it. It was like, wow, what did we just do? Or what are we doing? You know, it's great.
What Conan brought up very early on is how you and Keith, use different tunings and still have made it work. What is the secret to that? Because I didn't really understand how far, how that can work the way that it does.
Well, that's a good question. We don't look too closely. Keith and I call it an ancient form of weaving because it's an interaction between 2 guitars that just happens. I mean, Steve Cropper, a famous guitar player from Booker T, right, and Stax, he said to me his favorite song was Beast of Burden because he loved the way the guitars interacted on it. And so that was a pure accident and pure weaving, and the same thing is happening right now in the Foreign Tongues album,
When it's not working, how does that get worked out in the moment? Do you all agree it's not working, or does one of you think it is working and 2 of you think it's not working?
All of the above.
That's why we bring in a referee, and he's sitting over there. Andrew.
Let me mention the producer, Andrew Watt.
Yeah.
Who's here.
Yeah, he kicks us up the ass.
Local boy.
We need.
Local boy done good.
Local boy made good, yeah.
What's the name of the guitar that you played on this song that you also played on Stay With Me?
It's called a Zematis. He was a Greek guitar maker, handmade guitar. Fantastic.
Well, I thought if you had your own name for it, like B.B. King had Lucille, do you have a name?
I call it the Black Z, baby. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure, sir.
All right, man.
Good seeing you.
Look right at me, this camera. Nice smiles, good. 1, 2, 3, we are done.
Got it.